camera, action. Welcome to Hollywood. Well, kind of. I'm Kelsey Briggs, and I'm here to tell you about the new boom in the state of Oklahoma that can impact your job hunt.
I'm Caitlin Seiler, and this week I'm going to tell you about research being done that could predict when birds collide with buildings and why it's important.
I'm Maggie Burke, and I'll be telling you more about the large market of cannabis in Stillwater. Happy 420!
Hi, I'm Destiny Adams, and this week on News OSU, I'll be showing you a new side of the amphitheater.
The Oklahoma State baseball team moved down the road to O'Brate Stadium and effectively left their old ballpark abandoned. I'm Joseph Fazio, and I'm going to tell you why Alley P is the perfect place for the new Cowgirl Stadium.
Hello and welcome to News OSU for April 20th, 2021. I'm Caitlin Seiler, and thank you for joining us. Today is 420, and being in Stillwater, you've probably noticed that you can't throw a rock without hitting a dispensary in town, and it's like that all across the state as well. Stillwater has 23 dispensaries, and as of February 2020, Oklahoma as a whole leads the country in dispensary numbers and is ranked second for dispensaries per capita. These shops are only available for those with their medical marijuana cards. One reason for the high number of cannabis stores is that Oklahoma is one of the least restrictive states in issuing medical cards. Approximately 8% of Oklahoma's population are medical cannabis patients.
We see college students and we see demographics. We see, patients all the way up into, 90 years old. I mean, we're talking everybody that has, seizures, to cancer patients, to Parkinson's, to ADD.
Shops in town have prepared for the boost in sales today, and some have increased their hours for the 420 holiday celebrations. Outside of the cannabis industry, Oklahoma has long been known for its oil and gas industry, but recently a new boom has swept across the state. A $200 million Hollywood production is being filmed right now in Osage County, and more Hollywood productions are making their way to the Sooner State. Kelsey Briggs shows us how Oklahoma could become a major film hub and how thousands of jobs will follow.
Welcome to Oakeywood. Oklahoma has become a major film hub for movie companies. This new boom in the state is creating thousands of jobs. One major Hollywood production is taking place in the heart of Osage County. Executive Director of Tourism Kelly Bland says the production is offering unique opportunities for small business owners.
It's going to be an economic blessing. Businesses on the north end will be closed during the filming, but they're getting paid as if they were open. But when you are a business owner, very rarely, because you are self-employed, do you ever get to take a paid vacation.
According to the Oklahoma Film and Music Office, in 2021, a projected $150 million will enter the Oklahoma economy from the film industry. Since 2012, the industry has seen over a 1,000% increase in expenditures, jobs, and wages.
Deputy Director of the Oklahoma Film and Music Office, Jeanette Stanton, says the OK Film and Music Office's rebate program helped the state through income taxes and other factors.
If you're using the rebate or the incentive, your below the line crew and cast have to be employees. They are spending money in the state. So they are buying stuff at retail shops. They are buying stuff at antique shops. They are spending a ton of money on food.
As of April 2021, there are 5 active film productions in the state in compliance with the OK Film and Music Office's rebate program. For more information on the rebate program, go to okfilmmusic.org. Kelsey Briggs, News OSU.
What feels like a year-long quarantine nightmare may finally be coming to an end as of Monday, April 19th. Adults over the age of 16 are eligible to receive a COVID-19 vaccine in all 50 states that is completely free. According to the CDC, nearly 3 million Americans are getting vaccinated every day. That's 1% of the population every single day. The biggest hurdle left is vaccine hesitancy, as some Americans still don't trust the new vaccines and are hesitant to take part in the vaccination process. High rises in cities across America are having issues with their neighbors in the sky, birds. Collisions happen more than you might think, and there's nothing quite like the shock of hearing a bird colliding with your window. I took time to talk with researchers about how bird collisions can be prevented and why it's important. Windows are an aesthetically pleasing part of any building, but what may look nice to humans can be deadly for birds. Members of an Oklahoma State research team have been using NextRad weather radars to predict when birds will collide with buildings. PhD student Jared Elmore says the research team switched the settings on a NextRad radar to view animals instead of precipitation.
Biologists have been able to do is basically the opposite, where they remove all of the precipitation and leave just the animals. So we thought we could use this type of technology to estimate when birds were actually moving through the airspace.
The research team gathered data over a 13-week period on a specific set of buildings in Stillwater. Over the 13-week period, windows on the buildings killed 48 birds. Now, this research is important for two reasons. Number one, it's a conservation issue. Birds colliding with buildings is the number 2 cause of bird mortality in the United States. Secondly, it impacts the birding industry, which is a multi-million-dollar industry and extremely lucrative hobby. OSU assistant professor Scott Loss says that humans can reduce the amount of bird collision deaths by turning off their lights.
Light pollution over cities is a contributing factor to collisions. It causes these migratory birds that use cues like the stars and magnetic fields. It confuses them and attracts them into habitats maybe where they shouldn't be.
Homeowners are encouraged to close their drapes or blinds whenever possible and keep screening material over opening windows to prevent bird collisions. For News OSU, I'm Caitlin Seiler. While many are familiar with the Big Greek House and Greek life on campus, the multicultural-driven sororities and fraternities are gaining a lot of popularity at OSU. Theta Nu Xi is a new multicultural sorority on campus that was founded August 2020 and now has more than 23 girls, and it continues to grow.
Different, races and cultures and stuff like that. We have Honduran, Puerto Rican, Hispanic, Caucasian, African American, Afro-Cuban. They're so multicultural and diverse. Each individual woman that we brought here is going to uphold our tenet and uphold our sorority at the end.
Theta Nu Xi and all other multicultural sororities and fraternities encourage all ethnicities to come to their events and join their diverse Greek life.
Former Oklahoma State basketball star Natasha Mack is packing her bags and heading to Chicago. On Thursday, Mack became the 6th player in program history to be selected in the WNBA draft. The reigning NCAA Defensive Player of the Year was projected to be a first-round draft pick, but instead went in the 2nd round. Mack was the 16th overall pick and will play her future basketball with the Chicago Sky. The Cowgirl great said that being drafted in the 2nd round gives her motivation to prove herself.
It meant a lot, I'm just glad the team wanted me and believed in me, so it's time to get to work now. Honestly, it's not the first time I've slept on. I've been slept on since I came to AC, and so that's something that's always going to happen. I always got to fight and work harder. I just got to work harder each day. Each day is a new opportunity, so I have to work to show them I belong there. I'm meant to be there.
Mack joins a team that finished 6th in the WNBA last season and was eliminated in the first round of the playoffs. Oklahoma State men's basketball has its first new addition to the team. On Friday, the Cowboys announced the transfer of Woody Newton from Syracuse. Newton is a 6'8" power forward who played 11 games in the Orange of Syracuse during his true freshman year. He will still have all 4 years of eligibility with the Cowboys. Newton played a total of 87 minutes last season, in which he averaged 3.5 points a game. The Oklahoma State spring football game is taking place at noon in Boone Pickens Stadium this Saturday. Admission is free, and this will be the first glimpse for fans of next season's team. Head coach Mike Gundy says that fans should be expecting an entertaining game and see a variety of players.
Our goal is to provide good entertainment for the fans. Let them see the players, see some of the new guys, see the names they're familiar with, provide them with a real football game. We're going to have a good show. We're going to try to put together an hour and 30 or an hour 45 minutes of really quality football.
OSU softball is on a historic conference winning streak. This past weekend, the Cowgirls completed their 3rd conference sweep in a row after taking down Baylor. Over the course of 3 games, the Cowgirls outscored the Bears 20-4 and capped it off on Sunday with a run rule win. The victory extended the program's record conference win streak to 11 games in a row. OSU softball will be back in action at Cowgirl Stadium Wednesday evening as they host UT Arlington. Speaking of stadiums, after the Cowboy baseball team moved to O'Brate Stadium, their old ballpark at Alley P now sits unused. In this week's I'm Just Saying, Joseph Fazio tells us why Alley P would be the perfect place for a new Cowgirl softball stadium.
The Oklahoma State softball team has been on a tear this season. The Cowgirls are currently 35-5 and are ranked 11th in the nation. However, this season is no anomaly as for the past 5 years, OSU has become a household name in college softball. Just 2 years ago, the Cowgirls defeated number 4 Florida State to make the College Softball World Series. And hopefully, they'll have a chance to head back to Oklahoma City this May. The Cowgirls are arguably the most successful team at OSU. Definitely more successful than the team that plays in the stadium right behind me. And more successful than the team that used to play in this now abandoned ballpark. In the last 5 years, the Cowgirls have won 70% of their games. In comparison, the Cowboy baseball team is just below winning 60%. While the Cowgirls continue to get better every season, the quality of their ballpark doesn't match up to their success. OSU recently opened O'Brate Stadium 2 months ago, and now it's time to think about a state-of-the-art stadium for the ladies. Luckily for everyone, the ideal place stands only feet away from Cowgirl Stadium. Like I said before, Alley P is basically just an abandoned ballpark right now, and that is why it is the perfect place for the new Cowgirl Stadium. They can tear down Alley P and build a stadium that will reward the current Cowgirls' success. Cowgirl Stadium currently has a capacity of 750, but it has certainly gone above and beyond in attendance during some games. In 2019, 1,374 fans attended a Cowgirls game against Oklahoma. To compete against other powerhouse college softball stadiums, the new field needs to see at least double the current capacity. Now, this isn't just some random thought about building a new stadium. Coach Kenny Gajewski says he's talked with incoming athletic director Chad Weiberg about it, and construction could begin in 2 to 3 years. It would be similar looking to O'Brate Stadium where the Cowboy baseball team plays, and has a price tag of $25 to $30 million. Every sport at OSU, with the exception of softball and wrestling, has had new facilities built or old ones renovated in the last 20 years. With all the success the Cowgirl softball team brings, it's time to change. And as the old saying goes, if you build it, they will come. But hey, I'm just saying.
It will be a full week of sports across the board for OSU. The Cowgirl soccer team was selected for the NCAA tournament on Monday. OSU was given the 10 seed and will play the winner of Colorado and South Alabama on either April 30th or May 1st. On Tuesday, Cowgirl golf will wrap up the Big 12 championships. The Cowgirls entered the final day in record-setting form, leading the Big 12 championship scoring record by 8 strokes. The Cowgirls also held a 16-shot lead against the rest of the field. Both softball and baseball will play at home midweek. The Cowgirls will host UT Arlington on Wednesday evening, and the Cowboys will play Arkansas Pine Bluff twice. Wrapping up the weekday schedule will be the start of the Big 12 Tennis Championships on Thursday in Waco, Texas. The weekend will feature a baseball home series against Texas, and the spring football game will be at Saturday at noon.
That's it for this week's News OSU. Stay safe, be sure to wear your orange, and we'll see you next week.